Anyone crying and comes to this place with those tears, the tears will dry up. Anyone stuck in the journey of life, as a person comes here this morning, you will make way where there is no way. The person will resume the journey of life. Those already buried, the abyss of poverty, suffering, and confusions in life. As they come here this morning, the pit will vomit them. Have your way. Manifest your fullness in this meeting. In Jesus' name we pray. You're welcome. I'm happy you are here. God, the Lord himself will do something that will surprise you. James chapter 2. James chapter 2. I read verses 17 and 20. Even so, faith, if it hath not works, is dead, being alone. Verse 20. But we thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead. Today I want to speak on the actions of faith. Why we are dealing with the issues of faith at this point is because that's all that the people of God need to develop in them so that they'll be able to access all that belong unto them. Everything that we are hoping for, pursuing, praying for, are all available. The warehouse is open. It is now for we to access those things so that our lives will be better, so that our tears will dry, so that our hopes will be renewed, so that our confidence will be solid, so that we'll be happy that we belong to this great God and we are citizens of this great kingdom. Actions of faith. Don't tell me that you have faith when there is no evidence to show for it. It simply means you don't have any faith. Faith is not a thing to brag for. Faith goes with evidence. Last week we told you that even God operated in faith. He created his world through faith. And everything that will make us to live that life he wishes us to live and access all that belongs to us must come through faith. Hebrews 11 told us that he created his worlds by faith. And we told us that anything that is being done by faith can only be accessed by faith. If you have faith, there must be evidence that will confirm that you have faith. Faith is not what we talk about, brag about, raise up our hands when a question, a message like this is preached to signify to us that you have faith when there is nothing to show. Faith is not passive. Faith is active. Faith is not dead, but alive. And anything that is alive kicks, moves, is active. That's why there must be something your faith will produce in confirmation that there is faith in the life of that individual. Faith is not something you will put inside the pocket of your spirit and then go about telling people how much faith you have. Don't ever tell me that you have faith. Allow me to see the evidence of that faith by myself. Allow me to see it. And when I see the evidence, I will confirm that indeed you have faith. Telling me that you have faith is academic exercise, and we don't need that in the church. We need to see evidence proving that you have faith, which was actually what the heroes of faith did. Hebrew chapter 11. Hebrew chapter 11. 29:30. By faith, they passed through the Red Sea as by dry land, which the Egyptians are saying to do, were drowned. By faith, the walls of Jericho fell down after they were compassed about 7 days. From verse 32. And what shall I more say? For the time will fail me to tell of Gideon, and of Barak, and of Samson, and of Jephthah, and of David also, and Samuel, and the prophets, who through faith subdued kingdoms, wrought righteousness, obtained promises, stopped the mouth of lions, quenched the violence of fire, escaped the edge of the sword, out of weakness were made strong, waxed valiant in fight, turned to flight the armies of the aliens. Women received their dead raised to life again, and others were tortured, not accepting deliverance, that they might obtain a better resurrection. These are evidence of faith, the actions of faith. In these are discussions we're having today. You do not mind the deepness of the Red Sea standing in your front to prevent you from getting to the destination you are going to. The Red Sea is there, wide spread in your front. This other side is a thick jungle. This other side is a great swamp. If you dare to follow any of these, your life will be wasted. And there is nothing to do. And this journey, you must continue the journey. Else, destruction will meet you right there. What do you do at this point? Put your faith to work. Confront that Red Sea. Use your faith to create a way where there was none. Because this journey you must proceed. Going back will lead to your death. Standing there will lead to your death. Diverting to the right will lead to your death. Diverting to the left will lead to your death. The only hope of survival is to face that great Red Sea in your front. So long as you have faith, way will show forth. Don't ask how will the way show forth. Close your eyes. Keep going. Keep going. Two things will happen. It's either the road appear, or you find yourself at the other side of the Red Sea. Do not ask how it happened. Put your faith to work, and do not allow that wall, even if it is as tall and as wide as Jericho wall, pull it down through your faith. Bring that wall down. Wall that decided to prevent you from entering the land that you had hoped for the past 40 years. The land your fathers that embarked upon the same journey were not able to make to that journey. And now you are seeing that journey, the land where you are going. The only thing that stands between you and getting and entering that land is this massive wall. Don't be afraid. Don't be terrified. Do not allow your faith to be shaken. There is this bulldozer hidden in your faith. You do not know until you come across a barrier, that obstacle, hindrances that have decided to stop you from entering your promised land. At that moment, you will discover, if your faith is strong, you will discover there is a giant bulldozer hidden in your faith. That the moment you put it to work, that giant wall will crash down and you will find yourself in the land of promise. Be stubborn in faith and refuse to allow anything, not minding what they are, to stop you from reaching your finishing line. Be stubborn. Never take no as an option. Never think of retreating back. In the journey we embarked upon, is a journey of no retreat, no surrender. If you retreat, you will die. If you surrender, you will die. Keep pushing forward. No retreat, no surrender. Anytime a thought flashed in your spirit to retreat back, see your obituary poster on the wall. Anytime a thought flashed in your spirit to surrender, to plead, to beg, see your obituary poster on the wall. Keep going. That death will not kill you. Keep going. That obstacle will clear off. Keep going. That hindrance will be out of the way. Keep going. That barrier will be out of the way. Keep going. Stop looking at the size of the problem. Think about the size of your God. You may not understand why we stand. May not understand. Before the wind that blew show forth, the Lord revealed himself to me in a manner I never thought of. From one end of the earth to another end of the earth, across the sea, he occupied the whole place by himself. He just stood like this, and he occupied the whole place. From one end of the earth, you call it the beginning of the end, across the sea to the extreme end of the other side, he occupied everywhere. And I ask myself a question: is there anything that we show forth that he will not know, he will not see? The man that filled heaven and the earth at the same time. He occupied everywhere at the same time. So, what is that thing that will make me afraid when I am with this God that filled the entire earth at the same time? So, whatever that knock at the door, I remember I have a God by me that filled heaven and the earth, and I keep going. Always see the size of your God, not the height of your problem. Are you aware? Every problem has expiring date. When the problem show forth at the early stage, to you, this is your end. The only thing you are thinking of, God, let me die and leave this earth. God, I am done. God, it is over. God, I can't survive. God, I believe that my life is right with you now. Lord, I don't want to make mistake. Let me die now and leave this earth. If you die at that point, you will not have any voice in heaven. You will be a wounded soldier, and there is a place they will confine you because you are not able to finish your assignment on earth. Wounded soldiers do not have voice in heaven. Please be stubborn. Confront your oppositions. When they show forth suddenly, do not run. Do not be afraid. Do not be intimidated. Rather, rise up in faith and say to them, where are you going? Speak to them. It is I. What did Jesus say? Speak to your mountain. Be thou removed. Be stubborn in faith if you must reach where you are going. Every one of us is on a journey. But so surprised, only scanty few reached their final destination. I was so afraid when I read a story. I think I've told us that. Yeah. And they use men like Billy Graham in the case study. Why, when they were, preparing the journey of life, Billy Graham was least among them, expected to survive and to reach the finishing line. They were men more vibrant, more active, more spiritual powerful than him. He was just throwing them behind. But the study says, after 20 years, every one of those men were nowhere to be found. A man that was least expected to survive the journey became a vocal voice on the planet Earth. If you listen to Billy Graham, you'll be happy to hear a preacher speaking. He is uncompromising, or was uncompromising because he's late now. He called a spade a spade. He was a man that spoke to the conscience of America. He spoke to the conscience of America. That was why when 2001, September 11, when terrorists struck and destroyed America, they met the daughter, the journalist, and asked her a question. And she told them America did not destroy on September 11, 2021. But America got destroyed the day America removed Bible from the schools. That was what she told them in the interview. It's online. Billy Graham was bold in faith. He spoke to powers without, because he wasn't a commercial preacher as many preachers of today are. It is commercial preachers that think twice before they speak the truth, to know whether they will weigh the truth they will speak, whether the powers that be will still give them some Ghana must go after preaching. But Billy Graham was not mindful of that. He was not mindful of that. He spoke the truth without compromise. It doesn't bother him what your reaction will be after speaking the truth. If you react, it will be between him, you, and the owner of the message he delivered. You have nothing to do with the messenger that delivered the message. Be stubborn in faith, so you will reach where you are going. Why he got to the finishing line was because he was stubborn in faith. A man that do not have too much charisma but have faith, we get to the finishing line more than men that have much charisma but do not have faith. It might surprise you. Can somebody have charisma without faith? Yes. 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 Be stubborn in faith if that financial prosperity will be yours. This is where the enemy play believers' game. They hijack their finance, and a lot of believers submit, surrender their faith to demons and devils because of finance. A lot of preachers you see today that are now messengers of hell, some of them started well, but the enemy held on to their finance. Because enemies know this is the last bus stop. But it takes a man who is stubborn in faith to overcome. The pressure comes with financial prosperity. One thing you must understand is that demons and devils have no finance to give any man. Recently, the Lord have unmasked them. That all this sacrifice they do, they tell you, bring this person, does not give any money, does not produce any financial prosperity. They did that to torture you, to keep you in perpetual bondage until you leave this earth. What do they give you? They open you up, bring out the prosperity that God made available for you. Take some of them, give you change. That's why there are people that also did the same sacrifice, kill human beings in their occultic homes that we never see one. Why? They were not programmed to be financial prosperity. They will succeed in other areas, but not finance. What do I mean? He will not lack food to eat. He will not lack house to live. He will not lack basic things to do. But finance will not be flowing around him like others. If they enter court, kill anybody they want to kill, they will not have access to 1 naira. Why? When the enemy open them up, they will see no money to give. They don't create money. They don't have anything. They are strangers on earth. Be stubborn in faith if financial prosperity will become yours. I give you power to make wealth. It's very easier to read that scripture than to implement it, activate it, make it to work. Why? God will be careful to entrust you with finance because of disappointment that came from Solomon. He used the money that God gave him to fight God. Be stubborn. In faith, if that mountain in your front will be out of the way. This mountain might be anything. Be stubborn. In faith, if that breakthrough you are dreaming of will be yours. A lot of people dream so much and have nothing or little until they leave this earth. Can I tell you something? Any dream you ever had, positive, supposed to be become a reality in your life if you persevere in faith. If you persevere in faith. In fact, it is through dream that God communicates to people what He planned their lives to become. So when you dream that dream, persevere in faith so that that dream will become a reality. It might, why I use the word perseverance is because it might take 13 years like Joseph. Joseph waited for 13 years for his dream to be fulfilled. And when that dream fulfilled, he lived 80 years to enjoy the benefit of that dream. So don't you see that he enjoyed more than waiting? 13 years, 80 years. Do the mathematics. Do the mathematics. Be stubborn. In faith, if you must fulfill that great destiny that produce all the battles you are fighting. The greater your destiny, the greater the battle you fight. Why will you submit at this point after you already have some scars on your body? Do you know the reason of scar? I mean spiritual. The moment you look at it, it build, ruggedity. It build resistance in your spirit for the fact that on the process to achieve this, I sustain this scar on my body. I will not drop off until I get to where I am going. I will not sustain this car for nothing. The pains of this car will not be for nothing. It must produce tangible results. It must produce tangible results. Believers must stop surrendering their destiny to the enemy. A lot of believers, because of pressure around them, they surrender their destiny to the I'm tired. I don't think I will continue. What stories will you tell your children? Don't you hear what Jacob told Pharaoh? Few are number of my years on earth, and great afflictions around. That's the battle of faith, battle of destiny. That man had a great number of years in fighting for destiny. He went to exile for 20 years. He left the land of promise and went into exile, and there he saw hell, and he stood his ground. He complained to the man, what did I do? In serving you, in the day, frost consumed me. In the night, drought consumed me. And I made up my mind, I will never touch that which belonged to you. Why are you shortchanging me? That was enough to make him drop. But he says, no, there was something my father Isaac told me. And when Isaac was telling me this story, he told me that his own father Abraham told him this: I will never submit. I will never surrender. I will persevere until I get to where I am going. And that man stood his ground. You saw the battle he fought at Jabbok. I will not let it go until you bless me. That's the actions of faith. Why will you throw away your destiny? Because have you not seen footballers? What they go through in order to play for 90 minutes in the field? Have you not seen the athletes, the runners, what they go through? When Usain Bolt was still active on track, do you see the animal he trained with? When Mike Tyson was still active on the field, on the ring of boxing, do you see the animal he trained with? Why is it that believers are jellyfish? They easily get discouraged. They easily get discouraged. You see the athletes, the footballers, they have money in their pocket, but because they want to feature in the 90 minutes on the field, there are a lot of food, a lot of things they will never taste to keep fit. To keep fit. You have a great destiny and you are seeing that destiny. You're almost surrendering. You're almost backing out. Discouragement is already not just knocking at their door, they have opened the door. Why don't you, because of the joy of telling the story tomorrow, persevere and continue? Do you know what it takes? Jacob told his children, gather the sons of Jacob together, that I might tell them what will befall them in the latter days. He started telling them stories. For the sake of that story, why don't you persevere? For the sake of putting smile on the face of the Almighty, that this guy I sent to the earth with this great destiny did not disappoint me. Is able to achieve what I sent him on earth to achieve. For the sake of the generations present and generations coming that will benefit from this your destiny, why don't you persevere and say no to discouragement? And a man with great destiny keeps no friend. A lot of people you call friends envy you. And you will not know they envy you. Therefore, they will always give you things, informations that will pull you out from the track, that will lead you to the land of fulfillment. So, what are you looking for? What are you looking? uh, uh, Thomas Edison, did you see any friend around him? Did you see any friend around him? Men with a great destiny keep no friends. The time to sit around with friends is a time to go to work. It's a time to do something that will keep boosting your faith. Our faith needs to be boosted if it will carry you to the land you are going. So instead of wasting that time with so-called friends, why don't you boost that faith? Why don't you spend time to boost that faith? Why don't you spend time to do things that will make that destiny to be fulfilled? Be stubborn. In your faith, so envy and jealousy will not stop you. Once you have something to achieve on earth, get ready for envy and jealousy. I don't know why, but great destiny attracts envy and jealousy. I don't know why. I don't know why. And when they come, they will smile at you, with you. And when they come, they will tell good stories. When they come, you will think they are supporters to achieve your destiny for you. Don't you see what happened to Joseph? His own brothers, blood brothers, from the same father. Don't you see what happened to Daniel? Colleagues in the same office ganged up to waste him. That's a power of envy. Don't you see what happened to Mordecai? Don't you see what happened? Don't you see what happened to David? Envy, jealousy. But my happiness on these men I mentioned is that all of them resisted. Yes, it cost them something, but they proved these demons in human flesh. Any person that have envy or jealousy in him is a demon living in human flesh. They proved all of them wrong. They proved all of them wrong. You saw what happened to Haman. You saw what happened to 120 presidents. You saw what happened to Saul. You saw the shame that Joseph, elder brothers, 10 of them, went through. In fact, Joseph prepared palatable dish of shame and fed them with it, and they fully consumed it. Brother, tackle that thing that is standing between you and your dream. Tackle it. Whatever it is. Tackle whatever that is standing between you and your dream. Tackle it. And when you are doing this, be brutal. When you are tackling what is standing between you and your dream, be brutal. If you refuse to tackle it, you will end up a nobody. You will end up a nobody. 1 Samuel 17. 1 Samuel 17. I read 45 and 47. That 45 to 47. Then said David to the Philistines, that comest to me with sword and with a spear and with a shield, but I come to thee in the name of the Lord of the hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast defied. This day will the Lord deliver thee into my hand, And I will smite thee and take thy head from thee. And I will give the carcass of the host of the Philistines this day unto the fowls of the air and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel. And all this assembly shall know that the Lord saveth not with sword and spear, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give you into our hands. This is faith speaking. This is faith speaking. Now, before this faith spoke here, everything around wanted to quench the fire of faith burning in him. His elder brother that has no place to go in life, Eliab, was the first one. The king joined him. You can't go, my son. You're just but a youth. And this man you are looking at is a man of war. From his youth, you can't go. And the man said, the young boy says to the king, what do you mean? Is it you're looking at the size of the body speaking to you? You don't know the size of the spirit inside this body. You are servants. Why keeping the sheep of his father in the jungle? Lion came, picked one of the sheep. I ran after that lion, caught him by his bears, opened his mouth, brought out the sheep out. I killed the lion. As I was returning from that, bear came, caught one of the sheep and went away with it. I ran after bear and caught that bear, tear the bear and rescue the animal. And this uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of these two animals. Saul was confused. Because in the history of Israel on record, before that day, it was only Samson that had killed a lion, and no one had killed bear. Bear is one of the dangerous animals in the jungle. One of the dangerous animals in the jungle. And Saul became convinced. Okay, you want to go? Oh yeah, take my armor. Take my weapon that I was not able to use to prevail against him. Take it and go. The boy became confused. He put it on him. As he wanted to move, the thing was weighing him down. You know, there are things that weigh faith down. That's why a man that wants to succeed in faith, you will always evaluate the environment you find yourself. Is that environment conducive for your faith? That thing you take in, is it conducive for your faith? Is it to help your faith or to destroy your faith? Evaluate, critical, not on the surface. That man, even from the church that is always talking with you, is it around me for good or for my destruction? Not everyone that answers sister or brother in the church is a brother and sister to Jesus. David says, sir, I've not proved this before. You want to destroy me. I cannot move with this. And shamefully, Saul removed this. The young man only went with what he was familiar with. His catapults. Faith will win all kinds of battle that will ever show up, not minding the size of that battle. So long as that faith is alive, living faith sees the invisible. Living faith communicates with the Almighty at all times for direction while in the heat of battles. In the case of David, faith saved the situation. Faith killed Goliath. faith put the crown of victory on the head of David even before he shot his first catapults. David had living faith, active in his spirit. That was why he did not see Goliath and the size and his size. He did not see the weapons that Goliath armed himself with. He did not see the size of Goliath's armor bearer. Instead, he saw God, the living God of Israel, standing with him to defend him and to win the battle for him. David is an example of an active faith, because when everyone was on the run, including the king, that Israel chose by themselves, so he will go to battle with them, fight their wars for them, even as other nations of the world were doing. David stood his ground, then confront that fear that had engulfed the entire nation of Israel. And with his boldness, he won for his nation, he won for himself. Step out in faith. Speak that word saturated with faith. Always take bold actions. Bold actions is always accompanied with faith. Stop retreating. Stop surrendering. There is no victory in retreat. There is no victory in surrendering. Always wear the helmet of faith. Always wear the shoes of faith. Always put the armor of faith. Always wear the shield of faith. Always. 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 The life we are, you see, brothers and sisters, if you don't understand life, you will not win. Life is jungle. No animal in the jungle have been entertained by other animals in the jungle. No animal. That's why you see all animals in the jungle, they are always on alert. Always be on alert. Listen to this. There is no welcoming party on earth. Have you seen welcoming party in the jungle? Who is welcoming each other? Is it a lion that goes out to hunt and to satisfy his own? Who is welcoming each other? Sometimes when I hear people complain in life, I see their ignorance. My uncle, my auntie, my sister, my dish. Why are you so ignorant? You think, as you came, and they saw the glory you came to life with, they'll be clapping for you to achieve in that family what no one was able to achieve, to climb that uppermost step of the ladder. They'll be clapping for you. You're an ignorant person. You do not know anything. You do not know anything. For you to think that they will clap for you, you do not know anything. for you to think they will clap for you. They want to trample you under their feet. They want to stop you from going to where you are going. The earlier you realize this, the better for you. Equip yourself. Equip yourself. Be ready to win. Stop succumbing to fear, to threats. Stop. Stop. Put your faith to work if you must be known in life. If your voice must be heard in life, put your faith to work. If your nation must celebrate you, put your faith to work. If humanity on earth will welcome you, put your faith to work. If you want them to sing your praises. It was after David put his faith to work that here people gathered and sang his praises. And even when they sing your praise, as soon as that song of praises come, get ready, because problem will be knocking at your door. Life is what? Jungle. Chapter 18 of 1 Samuel. Verse 6 says, and it came to pass as they came, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistines, that the women came out of all cities of Israel, singing and dancing to meet King Saul. Look at this. David came back from slaughtering the Philistines. Women came out from all the cities of Israel, singing and dancing to meet who? King Saul. Do you see confusion? Do you see a problem? With tabrets, with joy, and with instrument of music. And the women answered one another as they played and said, Saul has slain his thousands and David his 10,000. But wait a minute. Did Saul kill one here? Not to talk of thousands. And Saul was very, very wroth. And the saying displeased him. And he said, they have ascribed unto David 10,000. And to me they have ascribed but 1,000. And what can he have more but the kingdom? And Saul eyed David from that day and forward. Each victory leads you to another problem. Each victory leads you to another challenges. So I don't understand. After I gave that testimony that day, I don't know why things change. Shut up. You think they'll be clapping for you? Those you overcame, they'll be clapping for you. What do you mean? Do you know the journey they went on your head? Last time here you heard that somebody could travel as far as looking for the blood of an elephant to trap somebody down. And you think they will be clapping for you when such secret is exposed? You're a learner. You're a learner. This scripture. And from this moment, the life of David was at risk. Saul will always brought us pain. Let me smite into the wall. Let me see how he will have this kingdom from me. And the man will avoid him. The man will avoid him. The man will avoid him until the environment become unconducive for him. He left home, went to the mountain, and be living in the mountain. And Saul left his palace and gathered 3,000 soldiers to pursue 17-year-old boy. The battle became so tough. David went and relocated his mother and his father, took them to the land of Philistines, and told the king, please, let my father and my mother be here with you until I know what God have in mind for me. You see faith. He never complained. He never murmured. He didn't run back to Samuel and say, Samuel, now you call this problem. He didn't. He put his faith to work. Brothers and sisters, sometimes when I read this story of this man, I see this generation as, sometimes to describe this generation become difficult. These were men that had no history documented to look at. Because at that time, the only 5 books around was not in a printing book. It was in a scroll. And only fewer people have access to it. Not everyone. When they go to synagogue on Saturday, then the priest will read it. The one they want to read, fold it, and kept it. Nobody have access to it. And today, we have the full revelation of God. We have the history of this man to read, and still we are lagging behind. What is the problem? What is the problem? Why don't we rise up and get this work done? Brothers and sisters, put your faith to work. If you must be known, put your faith to work. If your generation must celebrate you, put your faith to work. If you must live where you are now to where you are going, put your faith to work. If 11 stars, moon, and sun must bow before you, put your faith to work. If you must be brought before the king, put your faith to work. If you must be clothed with scarlet and a chain of gold given unto you to hang on your neck, put your faith to work. If proclamation must be made about you for your alleviation, put your faith to work. If you must live straight into the palace, put your faith to work. Put your faith to work. James chapter 2. James chapter 2, 17 and 20 says, James chapter 2, 17, even so, faith, if it hath not works, is dead, being alone. But without known, O vain man, that faith without works is dead. This is painful. Look at the way the scripture addressed any man that his faith is not active. He called him a vain man, a worthless fellow, a worthless fellow. question this morning is your faith active? Is your faith alive or dead? Where do you belong in this matter? Why are you where you are? Why are you still complaining over that issue? Why are you still crying when people are sleeping? Why do you still wear sad face when you remember that particular happenings? Why are you moody? Why are you complaining and murmuring? And in most cases, you push your fault to another person. We preachers most times are the one that carry your failure. Not that place. Most cases, we preachers are the one that carry it. You fight us in your thoughts. You fight us in your speech. You fight us in your home. You fight us among your friends. I don't understand. That church, I've been to that church. They have not called me. Why don't you put your faith to work and see whether they will call you or not? Don't you put your faith to work and see whether they will call you out or not? This is a faith center. Everything we do here is by faith. It's a faith center. Put your faith to work. Faith will win anytime, any day. Faith will win whatever kind of battle standing before you. Faith will travel any distance to get you that result that will make you to laugh. Faith, if is active, does not have no as an answer. Faith will travel and stand before God to argue your case with God. Faith will travel and stand with God and argue you and tell God why he must bless you. Let us reason together. And Jesus, before he left this earth, he says, if I come back, will I meet faith on earth? That shows you how important faith is. Luke chapter 18. Is your faith alive? Is your faith dead? Don't answer. Go into your archive, where you keep the collections you gather in life, and look at them. Is there anything there? If no, you are carrying dead faith. If yes, your faith is alive. Living faith produces testimony. Dead faith produces sadness and midnight tears. Living faith produces victory. Dead faith produces defeat. Living faith produces laughter. Dead faith produces crying and mourning. Living faith is agile anytime you see him. Dead faith is moody anytime you see him. Living faith goes to war and returns back with trophy. Dead faith goes to war and die in the war fronts. Praise the Lord. How many of us have testimonies to share today? Do you have any testimony in our mix? Rise on your feet.